Ladies and well, I'd say gentlemen, but I know my audience. We're going to talk today about Record Buster. Now, Record Buster is back, and the main thing you need to know about this Record Buster, the first thing you need to know when you're going in here, is that what Revis does this time around, or Revis, or whatever the hell her name is, what she does this time around is both slow and seal. So when you're basically equipping your units, you want to go over in here to change equipment, you want to go to armor, and you want to make sure you have the 100% seal resist Glorious Anklet. You 100% will need that, or you could run the assist, but personally, I find the anklets a little bit better. There are benefits to either one. It really comes down to if you want to use better equipment for defensive purposes, and you can afford that luxury of not using like the best assist ever. Really, like I said, it's all a judgment call on your part. Now, you'll notice that I actually have Orna this time on Haruhime, and a lot of that's because I just need the effects of Orna on Haruhime more than anyone else for this. I do have the free-to-play, what's his name, Hermes, on Krazo. That does put Krazo at a severe disadvantage, and I mean severe. You'll see what I mean here in a little bit. Now, I am running this Tione. The reason I'm running her, well, you'll see in a minute. And you'll notice that she is really low level, so she's one that's a little scary to run on this, but we'll get in here, we'll talk about it real quick, and we'll get this one figured out. Now, automatic is already turned off. That's good news. Let's talk about what she does before we do any of the buffing and debuffing in this, okay? First things first, just her native whatever. She has 0% defense against, well, what you see here, 0 everything. The only thing that she's actually weak to, and she has no real major strength, the only thing she's actually weak to is Earth. Now, you'll notice I'm not running Earth on my team. There are really good Earth builds out there right now that are doing crazy things. We'll talk about that towards the end, but for me, I've been having fun with the Fire build. It's the same build that did really well for me last time. Now, on turn 6, not turn 5, turn 6, she will remove all her debuffs. So the big thing we want to make sure we do is reset those debuffs every time. But let's go ahead and in here. And I'm going to go ahead and just throw lots of buffs on my units. Since she's not removing those buffs, I can then obviously cycle out Tione. So after this turn, Tione's gone. Okay? We're going to do that. I'm going to increase the basically debuff her, buff her, and like I said, increase the charge of our SA gauge. That's going to become really critical. And you'll notice that actually on her, I also have as I have the Casino Seer as a friend. I really need to get her MLB to do what I'd really like to do on this, but unless somebody knows a way to get an extra Hero Metal and Flame Amulet somehow magically in the game at the moment, I'm kind of screwed. So, well, actually, I only need the Flame Amulet. So, find me an erroneous Flame Amulet somewhere in, I don't know, Dispatch Quest or something like that. Let me know in the comments section. If you like this kind of silly nonsense, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Now, let's get down to it. First round, we're doing our thing. We're increasing the charge gauge, we're buffing, we're debuffing, and that's what we're doing. Tione is gone. We now have old girl, Artemis. Okay, now Artemis is going to do strength plus 35%, counter rate plus 20%. That strength 35% we're going to try to hold to the end of the game. Now, I'm just going to do basic attacks at this point, and with Argonaut and Krazo, we're going to just do the basic buff, debuff cycle thing. Now, what's really nice about this unit is that when she counters, she will actually increase the buff rate. That's why I can afford to put someone that's not quite as good on Krazo. Early game Krazo, we will definitely be using him for his buff cycles. He will die off towards the end of the game, and he'll just become an attack unit and an SA monster, and that's it. And that's okay, because by the end of we'll have like 15, 16 turn buff cycles. So it's all right. It's going to be totally fine. All right, go. All right, now Haruhime, we definitely need to give her the SA gauge increase. With her, I'm going to actually do this. Counter and penetration rate up 30%. We want to do that. We just want to make sure that all that stays put. Okay, we're going to keep all this in play and let go. Now you'll notice that down here everything says it's 1 turn. That's just pretty much life. One thing I do want to do, actually, go back in here, and I want to increase the fire resistance, and I'm actually going to do her big buff increase. We're not going to do that very often this time around. We're mostly going to use her as a attacker and debuffer, and for her heals, of course, but her heals all come on counters, so yeah. We ain't too terribly worried about all that. All right, so now we're just going to increase her SA gauge, debuff fire, and yeah, keep the buff cycle going with her. Here we go. Now, turn 4 is where things really, really get interesting, and we start to turn up the heat. We're immediately, right off the bat, doing our special arts with Haruhime. If you watched the last Record Buster, you know exactly why we're doing this. 100% strength, 100% magic for the rest of the turn. Now, everybody here, no, I take that back. She is a magic type, isn't she? I'm pretty sure she is. No, she is physical. It's like remembering things. So the other thing she's going to do really, really well is she removes strength buffs and magic buffs. In this case, we only really worry about strength buffs. Revis at the beginning of this turn is going to do a big strength buff on herself, and we need to wipe that right out. We need that gone. So at the beginning of this turn, she's going to just swing her sword around. I think she jams it into the ground even, and you'll see another icon pop up there with a little blue up arrow. That's her giving herself a strength buff. We need that gone. Turn 12, that'll kill us. We will be done if that thing happens. So we're just going to completely avoid that all the hell together. All right. Special arts. Here we go. Now, she does have a limited number of turns that this runs for, but because we're going to be increasing our buffs so incredibly much, we ain't worried about it. We will literally have this until the end of the game. When this this skill came to the game, that's when Record Buster went nuts. Like, if you guys remember, we used to, like, fight for, double-digit numbers, double-digit millions, I should say, in Record Buster. Like, it was hard. Like, I was struggling for, 3-4 million at times. After Haruhime came, you ain't got 200 million, you ain't squat, son. All right, there we go. And I wasn't paying attention, but she should have done that big strength buff. Otherwise, I would have talked about it. Here we go. Now, she's debuffed to hell and back. On turn 6, she'll remove all those. But for now, we just want to jump in and make sure that we have everything where we need it. Okay? Everybody's buffs should be good. Yep, buffs are all very, very good. Just everything's there for quite a few turns. We ain't worried about that. We're just going to be doing basic attacks with everybody at this moment. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't need much of anything else. We're just going to keep that going. Boom. Okay, the only thing we're going to do more with Haruhime is when we actually do need, heals, or in the rare situation that we actually do need, a buff increase. Okay, beginning of this turn, she's going to debuff herself, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we should have enough buff. Let's see. Yeah, we'll have enough buff. We'll be good. All right. So there she goes. Removed all her buffs or debuffs, and they're right back on. Right back on. We are like, no, homie, don't play that. All right. So we're going to do that. We're going to keep that going. We're going to keep all this in play, and yeah, nothing really special is going to happen for a while. We're pretty much just going to be spamming for the next few turns. All right. Now, the one thing we will do, remember, she is going to add that strength buff. So we're going to keep that right off. Do your thing, girl. There you go. See that little S that popped up? Soon as she hits, that little S is gone. There we go. Took a minute for her to hit. There we go. All right. So we're going to need some heals on this turn. So that's when I'm going to go ahead and use that and that. Now, I'm not worried so much about this because Haruhime is this. Her heal actually will increase the debuff rate. So when we do the Awakening Spirits to once again kind of heal us a little bit, we're not really hurting ourselves at all. I'm going to go back to just doing a basic attack with Line. There we go. Haruhime is not dead. That's good news. Now, this rotation, these 4 turns are going to be critical. Turn 10, we are debuffing. We are debuffing like crazy. Okay? There she goes. All the buffs are gone. Or debuffs are gone. And now they're back on. I realize I keep forgetting to decrease my little sign over there. It's kind of hard to see all the icons and the health bars. I apologize for that. That is because I'm stupid. But there we go. Now, turn 11, we are going to do the special arts for Line. Why are we doing that? Well, for the next 3 turns, we're going to get 75% HP regen, and we are going to get basically one pass where at the start of a turn, if we're more than 1% health, which we will be because we'll get the regen at the end of the turn, we will be able to avoid a KO. That's going to be important on turn 12 because not all my units can really survive turn 12 properly. So this is going to be super important, okay? That's said, all of our debuffs are on. Everything's good there. We're going to replicate it this turn anyway. And, you know what, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and do that this turn. I don't really need to, but I want to get those debuff numbers a little bit higher because eventually we are going to be doing a little something with that. All right? There we go. Now, why am I not doing the SA with Argonaut and Cross this turn? I actually could and probably should, and that would get a crazy amount of damage out of them. You know. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep that going. There's some questions to the merit of actually doing it this turn. Now, if I had my other Casino Seer, I could have done all 4 on this turn, and probably 2 more by the end of the turn. You'll see where I'm kind of screwed at the end of the turn. There is some benefit to doing it this turn, but I'm not really going to touch on that this time around. I really need to increase my SA gauge or get somebody that does a little bit more SA boosting. There are units that do 100% boost to their SAs, but I don't really have room for them on my team. The team right now is kind of optimized to do everything that I need. Now, that said, the biggest problem I've got right now is I do not have my the new what's her name, Aisha unit. I do not have her ML bead. I've only got her +1. If I can get her ML bead in the next basically this weekend, I would have the ability to do crazy things with the SA gauge. People get on to me in my streams for that, for memeing with the SA gauge, but I'm sorry, the SA gauge will just absolutely demolish this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does. So if you're really looking for a better build, someone that increases their SA gauge 100%, and that Aisha, they would be best friends. But let's go ahead and continue this on. Just giving you guys some heads up, some pointers. Line, I really think is going to be absolutely critical to these runs just to keep everyone alive. And a lot of that's because A, my CP isn't high enough. B, my units are weak. My units are super weak sauce. All right. So I'm not really worried about the damage we're going to take this turn. Yep. End of the turn, pretty much everyone's healed. Turn 12. Turn 12 is the next time she's going to do an SA. Okay? She gave herself that big strength buff. Nah, bruh. Nah, it's gone. Homie don't play that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead back and do some attacks on this turn. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Awakening Spirits, and I'm going to do this move one more time just to give us a little bit of heal. I don't need it. But if I can avoid using that KO freebie on this turn, I absolutely will. 100%. Now, there is some question as to whether... I know a lot of people don't think it increases the SA gauge more to do attacks. I really think it does. So this might be where I'm actually hurting myself a little. You know what? Live dangerously. Live dangerously. Because I know if I do it on this turn, then at the end I'm not going to have a 4P. I'm not going to have a 4-part SA. I'm going to test this See if maybe that'll squeak itself out somehow. A little test, just a little bitty test, just a test. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Now I'm not worried about this. Crosso does not have his mid attack anymore, so we're not gonna be able to do another debuff. But that's fine because she's not gonna debuff herself again. She's gonna just let everything lie until the end of the turn. All right. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Now, the only downside is she is going to do her essay in this turn. Or, I'm sorry, beginning of 6th turn, isn't it? The beginning of 13th turn. So, yeah. So, her next few attacks are going to be on us before we get any heals. So, the question now becomes, does she still have her... She still has regen? 75% and avoid 1 KO. So you know what? I'm going to keep attacking. She have avoid KO. She has avoid KO. Everybody avoided the KO on that turn. And I could do one more of those. So you know what? Steam on ahead, my friends. Steam on ahead. All right. Oh, man. That is hot. Filthy garbage. She got KO'd twice in the same turn. Well, that was always a probability. So that's no bueno. Well, we are not going to get any better than this. So let's go ahead and just do a triple. I really, really, really want to try to get a quadruple out, but I've not found the right recipe to do it yet. And unfortunately, that does mean... A, I'm not getting my bonus for everyone surviving. Sucks. I'm not getting my bonus for all 4 surviving. That's life. B, I'm sure someone else is going to die. C, I really, really, really want to try to get a four-part essay or 2 of their combos. 2 of their combos would probably be pretty much the best way to go. But that's also another reason why I think the new Aisha would be best here. Because the new Aisha, A, isn't she an Earth type? I think she's an Earth type to begin with. B, the best part about that Aisha is that her 3rd skill hits as hard as her SA. If you can get a combo with her, yeah, no, that would be disgusting. That would be utterly filthy. So we're going to kind of revisit this. I haven't built that team yet. I haven't really had an opportunity to fart around with those numbers and those ideas, but let's see what happens here. Because do remember that every time you basically add more super attacks on here, you're getting extra damage. That's huge. That's big. So, what do we got? Was that 2.4 mil? I think it was 2.4 mil. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. So, all right, and we just need to make sure basically everyone survives. So we're just going to do this last-ditch effort here. Fingers crossed. There we go. And 3 of them survived 104 million. It's not even my top score. All right. Anyway, 115 is still my best, and 175 was my best last time. So I think we still have... I'm sorry, no, 165 was my best last time. So we've still got a little bit to build here. So I really think that Aisha is going to be best and things like that. So go build your teams. Let me know what you guys got. Let me know what your scores were. And let me know in the comment section what teams you're actually running. Because if we actually go here to the top tiers, like this dude obviously has that same Line. She is just absolutely beast. And check out old girl here. He has that new... I can't click it and see it. It's not how that works. He has that new Aisha. He's got Bet, and I can almost guarantee you that Bet, probably that either the Bet or the I don't know which one would be swapped out. One of them's being swapped out though, and brought in Haruhime. So it's a very, very similar build to mine. I'm going to bet it's Bet that's getting. He's just going to do, what does he do? Big buff, I think. And then I don't remember what he does specifically. And then Tione comes in, and then Haruhime comes in. Very similar build, and that Anya Kitty increases her SA gauge. So, remember what I was telling you a minute ago? There you go. Happy building, guys. Let me know what you guys were able to do in the comments section. I'll catch y'all on the next one.